Hi, this is Shelley Kraft, and welcome to SNNLive. We're at the BioMaryland booth at Bio International Chicago 2013. I have Dr. Joana Rosario of J. Rosario et al., research consultants. It's a private company. Dr. Rosario, Joana, welcome to SNNLive.
Thank you very much, Shelley, for having me here today.
It's good to have you. Now, let's get right into it. Tell us what you do.
Well, we are a research company, a research consultancy company, and we ensure the success of life sciences companies, especially startups.
How do you do that?
The best parallel is that we have the Neiman Marcus approach to helping, meaning that we try to our best to give all the support that beyond scientific and technical, meaning that we help and advise and bring in to bear consultants of the different areas that are necessary. For example, a patent lawyer at the appropriate time, because as more experience, we can advise the young investigators or the research team when is appropriate to bring the different competencies. So a patent attorney, private equity, for example, we are partners in the private equity sector, both angel investors and venture capital, so that the investigators, they know their science, but they have to start thinking and being educated in the exits, potential exits for their product or their device. And we want to avoid that valley in their pipeline of funding. We also have the capability to design the studies so that they could conform to the regulations from the US FDA at the same time that they may, for example, conform to Anvisa in Brazil. Anvisa is the equivalent to the US FDA. So when the study is done, at one time, you kill two birds. You can get approved in the US, you can approve in Brazil, and being approved in Brazil, you automatically have access to Latin America. We work with three main markets: European Union and China, where we have our own proprietary model to ensure quality and ensure that things will be done on time and under perfect compliance with FDA.
What's your background?
I was trained as a physician, as a neurologist. I then did my grad school in Hopkins, in Johns Hopkins, and in epidemiology, so research methodology. But during 34 years of careers, I have done, I think, everything under the sun, including being the founding director of the Office of International Health Research in the Center for Alternative and Complementary Medicine in NIH. I was a point person at one point from the Division of AIDS with the World Bank. I consulted for World Health Organization and helped establish a collaborative center at the NIH with the WHO. So I think in 34 years...
I got a good one for you. 34 years, you look fantastic. So let me ask you, why Maryland?
Well, I went from Canada to the Mayo Clinic, Minnesota. I lasted one winter. I told my mentor, being new in the U.S., I asked him, I said, I want to stay in the U.S., but I just can't live here. So if I have to move, where do you advise me to go? And he graduated from Johns Hopkins. And he said, you may like Maryland. So I went to Maryland, went to Johns Hopkins, and has stayed there for all these years. And
you're still in Maryland.
I love Maryland. There is no state like Maryland.
This is a Maryland commercial, ladies and gentlemen. It's great. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Joana Rosario of J. Rosario et al. And what is your website?
It's www.jrosarioetal.com.
And that's etal.com.
Correct.
She's a research consultant. This is a research consulting firm. It's a private company. I'm Shelley Kraft. We're at the BioMaryland booth at Bio International in Chicago 2013. And this was SNNLive. Thank you for coming on to SNNLive. It was a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.